You know, it's kind of weird. Why should you be a Christian? It's a great question. I got asked that question a long time ago, and the question caught me so off guard that I was just like, my brain locked. I'm not, you know, a real smart, witty guy, and I didn't have an answer. I should have, because especially where I was at that point in my life, but, you know, having gone through everything I've gone through and experienced what I've experienced, you know, if you were to ask me today why you should be a Christian, my number one reason is this, is because or why I'm a Christian, anyway. Let me put it out. Because I've heard lots of reasons for other people. But for me, the number one reason why I'm a Christian is because it makes me happy. You know, I grew up in the church, so to speak, and when I was a kid, I always felt at home in church. You know, and then without deep diving into my testimony, you know, I kind of got lured in by the world and like, well, I got to work, I got to pay bills and this and that. And so jobs I had to work on Sunday. And so there's this natural progression where I got led farther and farther off the path to the point where I just realized I was, you know, sitting in my living room and I was just realized that I was just absolutely miserable. And I had been miserable for a long time, but I got to this like cross in the road where I was just, man, I am miserable. My life was such a waste, it seemed. And it was at that point that, you know, we're just, you know, like a few weeks earlier, I laughed at the idea of praying to God for help. I actually took, in that moment, was like, God, I'm miserable, I need your help. And, you know, it wasn't an easy road, but I came back and, you know, Christianity makes me happy because what does Christianity do for me? Well, Christianity teaches me how to love myself properly. You know, sin is very seductive because there's pleasure involved and there's things that are attractive, but it's all empty and it's not stuff that I really need, so it's never enough. You know, I can't remember where it came from, but I heard this quote. It was like, you can never get enough of what you really don't need. And it's true. As I look back at my life, the things that I really didn't need, I could not get enough of. You know, you really can't get enough what you don't need. And so, Christianity teaches me to love myself the right way. To lead, you know, to live my life a certain way, which will make me happy. It teaches me to love God rightly, to respect who God is, and to keep that. I know it may seem kind of weird, but if I keep God number one, you know, some people go, man, your wife should be number one, your kids should be number one, work should be number one, you know, yourself should be number one. If I keep God number one, everything else falls in place. Because God teaches me, if I stay true and being a Christian, I need to read scriptures daily. I need to meditate daily. I need to pray daily. You know, I do those three things. And then a fourth thing that I came to realize later on, if I engage my church, I engage my sacraments, those are the things that are going to help me have a great relationship with God. And God, through those things and with those things, will show me the right way to order everything else. He shows me how to love my wife the best way. He shows me how to love my children the best way. People that I work with, the lady at the drive-up window, you know, he shows me how to order all those things, how to be a good driver. You know, and I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a broken idiot. You know, I'm staying with original sin. You know, I have to deal with the consequences of my sin. I may be forgiven of my sins, but I still have to deal with those consequences. I have to deal with the consequences of living in a sinful world. But with God, I can become mended and I can be saved and I can help others. And through loving others, that's where I'm going to find true peace and happiness as well. Because God teaches me how to love myself right. God teaches me how to love Him right. God teaches me how to love everybody else right. How to live in this world in an amazing way. And I will tell you, I am, even on my worst days that are just absolutely horrible, I am way happier than I ever was when I was living that life only for myself. Puzzle jumping from pleasure to pleasure. Oh, this will make me feel good. This will be fun. This is what I'm going to do. So that's why I'm a Christian, and that's why I think everybody should be a Christian. Because I'm a Christian because it makes me happy, and I think everybody else should be a Christian because I believe if they truly live it, they truly dive into it, they'll be truly happy. And I'm sure you'll meet some people out there and be like, oh, I tried that Christian thing and it didn't make me happy. That's a bunch of bull. I'll tell you what. I tried playing baseball when I was a kid, and I stunk at it, and I never got good at it, and I hated it. Why? Because I did the bare minimum. I probably even did less than the bare minimum. So I was a terrible baseball player. Because I was a terrible baseball player, I didn't get to play, and when I did get to play, I wasn't having any fun because I wasn't very good at it. Flip side of that, for whatever reason, at some point in my life, God introduced tennis to me. For some reason, tennis just clicked. It was at the right place at the right time. I think God knew that would help teach me some things, and it did. I went from a guy who, maybe had only touched a tennis racket once or twice to, within a year or two's time, I actually had coaches asking me to leave my school and go to their school so I could play for their tennis. I wasn't a phenom. I didn't have 10 tons of natural talent. What I did is I dove completely into it, and I lived it, and I went after it with all my mind, soul, body, and strength. But it never truly made me happy, which was why I probably don't pursue tennis to this day, like with a lot of other things. And so, but with Christianity, it truly makes me happy. It truly makes me happy, and I pour my mind, soul, body, and strength into it every day. And that's why I'm a Christian. That's why I think you should